Hey guys, this is Brent. I want to talk a bit about hoovering. Um, hoovering's when they do whatever they need to do to get you back aligned with them. And this happened several times. Um, every time she felt like I'd had enough, she would come around and start giving me more access again. And she did that during the first stage with her and this friend, and then she pushed me away and started dating this friend. So they weren't really friends; they were more than friends. And my dumbass believed what she was saying over what knew I was seeing. So she started dating this dude, and then one day, I guess for whatever reason, she decided she wasn't cool with that. So they broke up, and while she was dating him, I didn't talk to her. We worked together, but I didn't. She'd come out and mingle around with the people, but I really said very little to her. Highs and byes and brief conversation, but that was it. I didn't engage with her much. And at this point, I really liked this chick, man. I mean, I no doubt I loved her, and I was still hoping that she had that for me, because she never said she loved me. But one time, when she was still dealing with this dude, she was supposed to come over to my house, and she didn't. She blew me off, and I basically told her that, I'm just going to exit your life. And I didn't talk to her that day at work. It was the first time I didn't go to her office. We didn't see each other. We didn't talk to each other. I ignored her. And then the next day I was in around her office, and I just poked my head in, asked her how she was doing. And then, she acted like she was happy as hell that I did that, and sent me a message saying, I didn't realize that I had these types of feelings for you. They're a lot stronger than I originally thought they were. In my head, I was like, well, then why don't you start showing that? Just don't fucking say it, show it. And so I took that to mean that she was more than love, getting there at least. And I started having that for her, even though she was pushing me away, triangulating me with this other dude, triangulating another dude with me. I was part of the triangulation for this other dude to get what she wanted from him. But anyway, so months later, she started dating this dude, pushed me away. I didn't have shit to do with her. And then one day at lunch, she came up and got me and said, I'd like to talk to you. And explained how it's different for her to want to be in a relationship with me than anybody else, because she has these feelings. And again, love wasn't said, but it was definitely implied. And I believe that shit. Fucking hook, line, and sinker. I was like, all right, I'll try to be what you need me to be. And then we went out and just talked that night. And she told me, some more shit, personal stuff. And, and whenever they do that, I mean, the connection's built. In some ways, you may feel bad for them, but I wasn't there because of sympathy. I was there because what she was telling me made me feel connected. Like, I was something to her. And then she sucked me back in. And we started our relationship that week. It was a relationship to me, I thought, at the time. Looking back, it probably wasn't. And, and then, so we had this relationship, and I'll talk more about that later. But this friend was always around still. She was inviting him around. She was mad because he wouldn't come around. She said it was because of the kids, but I know that wasn't it. And so we break up. We have a short relationship, 6 weeks, month and a half, somewhere in there. 6 weeks is a month and a half, but I'm just saying at that time frame. And then we go back to our situationship. We were talking, but we weren't actually in a relationship. And then I found out through this other person, like I wasn't really seeking information, we were still acting kind of like we were dating, but I found out she was trying to get back with the friend, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? How you gonna say one thing and do another? And then so we had to have a talk. And I like clarity. You know, I strive to be clear with people, and I like clarity for my peace of mind or closure or whatever I need it for. I think we all do. And she knew that. And every time she felt like I needed that, she would give me a little bit of clarity. So we went out and talked, and you know, she explained. It was just, even though I hadn't gone anywhere, uh, I was planning to just say "fuck you." You know, this is like the sixth fucking time or whatever. You know, how many times that you're choosing somebody else over me, yet telling me you want me. And so I told her, I was like, I don't need you in my life. I think I said that over a message. And so we went out, and we talked about it. She acted like she was sorry and just was in a confused state. And then next time she tried to hoover me, which worked, and was that a couple months after this, she completely discarded me. I started dating this other dude within like a week. And at that point, I was like, fuck this, man. And so I met somebody, and I started dating him. And we took so she was in her relationship with, this dude, and I was in my relationship with this dude. Or not a dude, but a woman. And I didn't talk to her for like 3 months. And then one day, it was her son's birthday, and so I got him a birthday card. And then we just started being friends again. And she would tell me about her relationship. And she never had a nice word to say about the dude she was dating for like months. I mean, he was stupid. He was a dumbass. He was a mama's boy. He was emasculated. He was this and he was that. And so, relationships, it ebb and flows. And I was having not major issues, but I was having the same issues. So I'd start to confide in her a little bit. Yeah, this is what whatever. And so the relationship I was in took a break. And during that time, I started hanging out with her. If nothing else, just it was nice to be around somebody else. And her relationship had ended as well, about the same time as mine. And it was just nice to be around somebody, so I didn't think about that. Is what it started out with. And then, one night we're having, we were out somewhere, she asked me if it was weird for me to be around her. It wasn't, I mean, my mom and we were just friends, and I asked her if it was weird for her, and she said, yeah, but in a good way, and then she went on to explain how feelings don't go away if nothing fucked up happened, so she still had feelings for me. And then I believed that shit. And so I was like, well, maybe there's a chance. And, so started sucking, and really use my own thoughts against me. So it doesn't have to be like an outlandish thing where they just call you up out of nowhere, and she was probably setting the stage for the Hoover well before, while I was still in a relationship and she was still in a relationship, because we would talk and she would bring up the past a lot. And if I brought up the past, then we just needed to leave the past in the past, right? But she would bring it up a lot. And, I asked her one day, why you bring it up so much? And, she told me we needed to talk about it to get past it, which made sense. But looking back, she knows like I said, I like clarity, and I like, try to get closure. And so I was like, all right, maybe I can get some closure. I don't know. It's not that I needed it at that point, but her bringing it back up kind of ignited that maybe I can get some answers, But and those answers just led into her steering the conversation the way she wanted. So, but, it doesn't have to, hoovering can be just very incrementally small, subtle things, as well as the big things, calling years later for out of nowhere. So that was my experience with hoovering. All right.